Hi, my name's Dr. Steve Simpson, sometimes known as the Zen Doctor, and I work as an elite performance coach, and which means I work with people just like you, because I'm convinced that we're all capable of a higher level of performance than we give ourselves credit for. Now, this new series is going to examine where have we come from, what do we want, and perhaps more important, how can we get what we want? And that's my mission, to try and suggest some strategies, some simple tips that might just help. So we have to start at the beginning of the journey, and because we're all on a journey, and why are we here? Well, we're here really fundamentally at a primitive level. We're here to survive, because Homo sapiens as a species will not advance much further unless we have survival skills. And we do, fortunately. Most of these skills are hardwired in our brain. They're instincts and reflexes. And we don't really need to think too much about them. These basic requirements that we have to survive are we need shelter. You might be able to hear. I'm glad I'm indoors because it's raining very hard outside. We need food, we need water, and because we're warm-blooded, unlike the reptiles, we need clothes to keep us warm when the temperature outside is freezing. Now, when we've satisfied those requirements, then we have time on our hands, which is not always a good thing, because when we have time on our hands, we think, and sometimes we think too much. And then with the kind of things that we think about very often are things that we are worries, things that are fears and anxieties. So we've survived, we've got a roof over our head, we've got some clothes on, and whilst our bellies are maybe not full, we have enough food and drink to survive on. So then we want to live longer. We've decided we want to be on this planet for as long as we possibly can, and we worry about dying, and therefore we worry about keeping healthy. What are the things that we can do to keep healthy? Well, no surprises here. Good food that hasn't been contaminated with anything, and good drink, water, or other things that we can drink that also are free from impurities. And we also want to not to have to worry about, are we going to be secure when we go to bed? It's about security issues. Hopefully you don't have too many worries like that, but I've lived and worked in Africa, and I know from personal experiences that in those countries, when you go to bed, you're worried about being disturbed in the middle of the night by armed robbers. And we worry about money. And money, whether we love it or loathe it, our society is based on it, and we can't live without it. And the thing about money is that it will maybe not take away some of these worries that I've mentioned, but at least it will allow them to fade into the background. Money can't make you happy, but it can certainly help. So that's in a nutshell. The things that we want on a fairly basic, what I call a reptile level. Funnily enough, there's an area right in the deep part of the brain that some people call the reptile brain, because it's certainly the most primitive part of our brain. And now we know about DNA and genes and stuff. Some of this stuff has probably existed before Homo sapiens, as a real species in its own right, walked this planet. So that's enough for now. Have a little think about this before the next video comes out in about a week's time. Have you been fortunate enough to take care of your immediate survival needs? And if so, what are the things that are on your mind? And I've given you some suggestions. That list is long, but I've just pointed out a few of the main ones. Because whilst knowing what our worries are won't on its own make them go away, it will help us as this series progresses. So that's enough for now. I'll be back shortly, and hopefully it won't be raining cats and dogs outside next time. Goodbye for now.